fall. You know, a wave just does something crazy on you.
Well, there they are, your competitors on screen. Sage Erickson coming into this event in 13th position on the ladder. Tyler Wright sitting in 5th position. Some movement here at the takeoff zone. Tyler Wright's going to swing on the first wave of the semi-finals. And does well to cut a pretty deep turn into that face, despite all those lumps and bumps. She reads this wave so well through to the inside. And a committed finish. Had more face to deal with. Gets that tail above the lip for a moment.
Nice size set wave to start this one. Again, bumps on the face. But that's the one thing that she's going to bring to the table here. She's going to be able to cut through that. No worries. Again, just some carves here to start this wave out. But this section here, where she capitalizes, perfectly timed, nice and steep. Gets the spray flying off the rail. Judges will take notice. That'll be a big turn and backs it up before she has to kick out right on the rocks. So 2 solid turns at the end. She has to do the same thing here, and I'm sure he's motivated her just the same.
Well, here we go. Let's see just how willing Sage is to put that board on rail. That wave was just a total burger, so she kicked out. But Tom Whitaker, I'm sure he wouldn't even be disappointed to see Sage fall on a couple of turns as long as she's going for those big high-risk moves. That's what she's going to need to do to beat this woman. Tyler on her second wave. First ride has yet to drop. This won't be as strong as the first, but...
that, and it kind of, especially coming down to this end of the waiting period and with only 1 day left, it really makes you question, you know, what you're going to get tomorrow. So that's why we're going to go today, and, you know, I'm hoping that the women make it look good, and, you know, they do. They always make it look good, so I know Tyler's already got a good score.
And she's on one now. I can see it over your shoulder. Tell us, do you talk to the ladies about whether they want to surf? How do you come to that decision ultimately?
Yeah, so ultimately the decision is with the Commissioner's office. But
and then here we go, a left being ridden, but we're going to follow the right here. This is the first time we're looking at this wave from Tyler Wright. You know, a little steeper face. Again, she loves these rights. So strong on the forehand. You know, her eyes would be affixed definitely on the rights, which we've seen all event long. But I like what Sage is doing, though, and taking a little bit of the attention away from Tyler and going on this left. And we've seen some lefts today with the direction of the swell line up on the reef pretty well. You know, this one had that first section, kind of a slow, sleepier section, but it actually gets a little inside bowl here, another carve. But again, the reason why we see a lot of the women, and not in the men too, going right, it just gives you a steeper wall.
Even at this point, you know, this is a very average heat score total for Tyler Wright when you look at her previous performances in this event, and it's a pretty decent, it would be a decent total for Sage. So just reflecting on what we said earlier, Sage needs to throw more high-risk maneuvers. She needs to put that board.
With that southwest wind coming across, but there are some swells, big sets coming in right now as we look over the shoulder, and it looks like the ladies are going to try and get into this one. Tyler finding the corner. Look at this beautiful snap. She's got that low center of gravity. It really helps her. Bang! Huge snap into the lip right there. I'd be shocked to see this wave not going into the excellent range with that hook. Beautiful surfing right there from Tyler Wright. You know, she's got that low center of gravity that really lends to her.
Again, those were beautiful, sizable set wave here. You know, that arc on the outside, more of a positioning, but sets up this next section there, and that was beautiful. Did get a little stumble there. I mean, it stuffed the nose slightly. She was able to keep the flow through the maneuver, but it will take notice there. The judges might see it a little bit. You see this section here, but this is how she times it perfectly. And she goes into this one knowing that there's a taper in it. She's got to arc it tighter. And again, lays into it. The nose goes underneath, but she's so strong. She keeps the weight back on that back foot, pulls it out, and keeps the flow going through this ride, finishes up this wave. Again, sets up this next section. Again, tapered edge, so she has to arc it and grabs the rail that time, which again, for stability, point of difference, that's that variety that you have to bring. She's now getting looser. She's already got 2 scores. Now she's able to cut loose a little bit more, push a little harder. And of course, the scores are going to come up for it.
I think there's an element of forgiveness for some of the court rails in conditions like this. As long as you're throwing down some committed turns, you'll get the payoff.
For sure, you know, but I even feel like
crashing into one of the bumps, and that's where you get those skittery turns.
Definitely, we're just seeing the replay of Tyler's first ride here, and that second maneuver on a clean day out here at Mainbreak Ridge with an offshore wind. If you see a surfer catching the nose of their board like that, typically it's going to hold them back a little on the scale.
Yeah, for sure. And we adjust our scale due to the conditions. And because it is so hard, we don't have those clean faces, the surfing gets a little bit more rugged, and the scale is still out of 10. So we have to score it out of 10. On a clean offshore morning, these scores are all probably a little bit high right now, but it runs off into deep water, and you've got to really get the wave. We're seeing it now on this right. But yeah, you really need the ones that hit the surgeon's table, and that will allow for those turns, whereas the girls are going to choose the rights and say, it's a really good turn off the end, and I'll go and check that out and be back to you.
Thank you, Rich.
Gave her the ability to kind of cut loose a little bit further. You know, this one in the beginning stages, I'm like, I don't know, but it actually hit the reef pretty nicely. Gave her a nice little steep face. The carve right there, solid, kept the speed through it. And then here, this is a good solid turn. Again, opening the arms through that carve, but she gets the bonus section here at the end. There's no way she would have known that she was going to get that section at the end. You just kind of have to roll the dice. And unfortunately for her, she got the ability towards the end, because that really saved this wave. I really think the strongest turn came on that final move. You know, the carve, it's nice, everything's nice here, but not super difficult. But that last section, she really lays into it. You know, again, right in front of the rock, nice steep section, it's coming at her. She gets committed into the lip with a nice vertical approach, gets super compact in the lip, and then pulls it down too with a lot of speed. So the flow is through the maneuver. Judges will like that.
A lot of payoff for those finishing turns throughout the event. Well, here we go. Sage Erickson gets herself out of combination. 6.67 was the number. A couple of judges went into the sevens with it to figure out her place on the championship tour these last couple of years.
Well, you can definitely see the focus she has been putting on the lefts. It hasn't paid off yet, but I still think she can find one of those special waves.
I guess one of the dangers too for the competitors here, Pete, is the fact that there is so many waves along this coastline, and it's sometimes tempting to get yourself away from main break.
Is choreographing a heat and doing what she needs to do to win. You know, and not necessarily putting so much weight on the numbers, and putting it more in about what's happening right then and there, and adjusting and making moves to make those and get those heat wins.
Well, here is the recap, and it was Tyler Wright getting off to a quick start, locking in a 7.33 early, a 7.6 to follow, and then just starting to really feel confident in the rest of this battle so far.
Yeah, and now just kind of controlling. You know, there was a nice size set wave that had a nice big steep section to start, but that wave kind of ended up going into the shoulder and had a lot of bounce on it. But again, I think she's really, this is the thing that she has been bringing to this championship tour and her world title year, is surfing smart heats and competing, not just letting her talent take her through heat wins, but actually going, okay, I've got the lead, now I'm going to control priority and making decisions in that regard to make sure that she gets those heat wins.
Back to live action now, just under 3 minutes to go. Sage Erickson trying to make a move. This wave flattening out a little. Sage, she's going to kick out here.
Knowing that that's one thing. She used to just go, you know what, I'm going off the feel, I'm just like having fun, and but now she's actually going, you know what, that's not going to win world titles by default. You know, and now she's kind of having to make it happen and realize it and create it. So there's a nice snap there.
Well, just 20 seconds to go, and Sage needs this wave to line up like no other wave has during the event window. She needs another steep section on the inside here. She needs a couple more. She's chasing a 9.33. The heat is coming to a close. But Sage, she was very busy in the later stages, but Tyler just too strong, and she caught this wave during the left.
Yeah, and so I don't even know if this will actually go into her top two, but she does look solid. This has been a great performance for her. She'll take a lot of confidence going into this final. Whoever she matches up against, it's going to be a tough draw. Take a look at this one. Nice solid first turn. And I like that Sage was able to kind of try and make it happen, never give up type of attitude here. But these laps, again, you have to have a special wave, you know, and she's done well with two nice turns, but the flow between the two maneuvers wasn't as crisp as you would have liked, and didn't get that third section. She needed to have that third or fourth section, as you mentioned. She just didn't get it, so I don't think this wave is going to be strong enough.
Well, the heat is over. The competitors are making their way in.